Now, not too much of a shocker, but I do movie reviews on my movie review channel, which I appreciate you clicking on this video. But the thing is, I never bring up religion. I don't even review most Angel Studio movies, which are religious-based movies. I never review them because people have really strong opinions on their beliefs, religion in general, and it can get a little dicey. And I also live in South Carolina, which religion is talked about on a daily, and it's just something that like I just don't want to get into and something I try to keep off my channel. The thing is, we have a new A24 movie, a studio I really like. They have a new horror movie. It's also a religious movie. Heretic stars Hugh Grant, and is about two young religious women are drawn into a game of cat and mouse in the house of a strange man. From writer and director Scott Beck and Bryan Woods, two guys that brought you the movie Haunt and the recent movie 65 starring Adam Driver, we're talking their brand new film, Heretic. Now, I didn't know a lot about this movie. I've heard some good buzz, some like social media reactions on Twitter, but it was never a movie like I was dying to see. Like I saw the trailer a few times in theaters and I was like, looks very mainstream for an A24 movie, and Hugh Grant being in a horror movie, like that alone had my intrigue, but again, it was never a movie like I was dying to see. To be honest, I kind of forgot it was even coming out this weekend. But I went to go see it tonight in a theater filled like 40 plus people older than me to this movie, and I did not expect that at all because this movie is going to make conversations, especially in the area I live. Like I said, I live in South Carolina, a lot of religious people. Christianity is huge where I live, and people have opinions on beliefs, and that is totally fair. And you know what? I'm going in this movie as a person that is not very religious. I went for the movie-going experience, but I walk away to tell you all, this movie is not for everyone. And it's because religion is such a huge topic, it's such a big conversational starter for a lot of people, that this movie might not be for you. But let's get to the positives. Let's get to the movie stuff like I'm always used to doing. The direction by these two guys, this movie is very strong. I feel like this script has really good dialogue, and with the direction and the editing and the sound design and the sound mixing, the horror vibes and tension just through dialogue was really well done. And this is not easy stuff. Like, I understand action movies, explosions are hard to do, but when it comes to good dialogue with great performances and really good sound mixing and design for a horror movie, which this is a horror movie, you kind of could argue thriller, this movie does it at the top notch, and I really just admired watching this movie. Seriously, the sound design in this movie is so good in this movie, and the movie just brings really good tension through dialogue, which is done by Hugh Grant. Steals the movie. Hugh Grant, please do more horror movies, honestly, because he plays a man that feels so nice that you want to shake his hand and have a good conversation with, but the thing is, the front door is locked, you can't get out, you can leave. He very much tells these girls, you can leave, but you need to make a decision about belief, disbelief, and many more topics that is brought up in this movie. But Hugh Grant's performance is really, really good. And also these two girls are fantastic. Sophie Thatcher, sorry if I said her last name wrong, she was really, really good in this movie. And I think if it wasn't for Hugh Grant, she'd probably be my favorite performance. But then for the longest time, Chloe East, I could not figure out where she was from. I was like, why do I recognize her? She was in The Fabelmans, and she is amazing in this movie. I want to see more of her. I thought she was great in The Fabelmans. She is outstanding in this movie. I think without Hugh Grant, she steals the movie. Because again, Sophie Thatcher is really good, but Chloe East steals the whole movie. And you also have Topher Grace in this movie. Took me a good 3 minutes to be like, why do I know him? I was like, oh my God, that's Topher Grace. Took me a good minute to figure out it was him. But either way, performances editing, sound design, it was all there. And also the story itself for putting these two girls in this house and just something is not right and now they want to leave. I like the idea. The movie is literally like set in like a 6-hour time span or like all night basically. And for the most part, some pacing issues, but like I was never bored in the idea of like what's gonna happen. How are they gonna get out of the situation? What is Hugh Grant doing to these two girls? And this is where in the review, I need to slow it down. I need to explain this to you guys. So, this movie is a religious horror movie. This is the movie that I'm probably going to watch this one time. I really don't care to visit. Again, as a person that just isn't very religious, this movie brings up topics and ideas and conversations that are way more important to many other people than myself. Now, I understood everything that's going on because I live in the South. I understand exactly what the characters are trying to say, the beliefs that are being talked about, and situations that the church views people, the Bible, and the three religions. This movie goes deep in those conversations. And I want to make this very clear. If you're not someone that's strong in your faith, no matter what it is, I would not recommend seeing this movie because it is designed to make you question it. And that's the truth. Honestly, this movie, if you're not strong in your beliefs, this movie can question your beliefs and how you view churches, religions, how people act towards the Bible. This movie can really go over the line for certain people, and I'm just doing this as a warning. Because again, for me, it's just something that I'm not into. This is, like I said, it's not a movie I'm gonna revisit. It's really well made, it's well acted, the editing, like again, Sophie Thatcher, Chloe East, I loved both of them. Hugh Grant. And when the movie ended, I just sat there saying, I admire what the movie's doing. I admire the conversations it's doing. But people who are religious and are super strong in their beliefs, this movie could piss you off. And if you're not strong in your beliefs, don't watch this movie. I'm telling you that, honestly. This will make you question things about religion and the religion that you are going for. In all categories, too. This movie doesn't just go for specifically one. It goes for all three, the main ones. And how he uses it in an example, I really admired. It involves Monopoly. I admire how he does it for people kind of like me who see it as something I try to stay away from, but how Hugh Grant presents it to these two girls, it is interesting in how it's done with the direction, the editing. For me, again, this is a movie not for everybody. But at the end of the day, when the movie ended, I liked the ending. I did not love the ending. It left me saying I feel like there was more messages to be sent to the audience more than the actual thriller part itself, which I found a little disappointing. But again, I love the performances, the score, the sound design, the editing, the direction. It's a strongly made movie, but it's a movie that will build conversations. I'm going to give Heretic a B. And this is why I don't talk about religion on my channel, because I'm just not the right person for this. But when it's a movie that like has A24 on it and Hugh Grant, a horror movie, like I want to see that in a movie theater. And people in my theater definitely reacted. When I was exiting, going in the hallway, people were talking in the hallway and people around me had strong words said towards this movie. And so go at your own will, but I tried my very best to give you an idea of what this movie is. And if you respect it the way it is, then you might enjoy it. But if, again, religious, maybe go see something else. And guys, you guys enjoy this movie review, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.